Alright, so मेरे साथ आज हैं मनन सर. He is of course the master of Gantt charts, and at the same time he is a master tool maker as well. When I say tools, तो याद आता है मतलब कॉमन लोगों के आई थिंक दिमाग में आता होगा जो गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स में वो दिखाते हैं ना हथौड़े और हथियार बनाने वाले. But he is the tool maker of stock markets, which in itself is so fascinating, sir. I mean, it's amazing that what you do. So आज का session we are discussing कि what should we learn from Manan sir, and he has very graciously accepted to teach us some modern tools, some new latest cutting edge tools for the modern stock market trader. Sir, the mic is yours and we are here to learn.
Okay, so thanks, Vishu. Thanks for having me here. Couple of things. We all love the stock market, right? It is a place where we have been told wealth creation can happen. How do we know that is true? We know our parents, once upon a time, they must have bought stocks of some company, they held it on. आज तक सुनाते हैं कि यार मैंने ना 15 साल पहले लिया था, something has gone up. So it's always there in our DNA. And generally across the globe, how do you create wealth? One is obviously you work and earn. The second thing is most wealth unlocked, when you buy physical assets like property. Over a period of time, it will. When you buy certain stocks in the stock market over a period of time, it creates wealth for you. So the stock market is pretty fascinating. It is all fun until we come to futures and options or derivative side of the market. Okay. And that is where things can get a little coffee gadbad ho sakta hai. And the reason is it's very simple. Futures and options ek aisa cheez hai, you have to trade it very differently. So I'll start with a simple question. Vishu, you trade in the market? You're interested in the market?
Yeah.
Great. आप क्या strategy use करते हैं लगभग approximately क्या है?
Okay, my favorite one has to be Nifty में EMAs को follow करना.
ठीक है, you're following EMS, fantastic. And you look at the Nifty chart, you study everything on the Nifty. So I'm going to ask you the most, and this is probably for all the listeners over here. Why does Nifty go up and down?
उसके components को up and down and buy sell उनकी demand होती है, demand supply आता है, तो according their prices go up and accordingly it's an index, तो ये ऊपर नीचे जाता है उसके components की वजह से.
So if I understood you correctly, आप कह रहे हो कि Nifty 50 is 50 stocks, and whenever there's cash buying and cash selling in those stocks, depending on the weightage, Nifty will go up and down.
Yeah.
So ऐसा कह सकते हैं कि Nifty is a cash calculator in the market, right? It is not dependent on anything except for cash buying and cash selling. That's how our markets are designed. But you just told me you're a derivative trader.
Right.
Well, why are we looking at the cash index?
मतलब we have to base it on something, and that is the most popular thing that
you are. I'll give you an example. आप मान लीजिए पेट्रोल पंप जाते हैं और आपकी पेट्रोल की गाड़ी है. वहाँ पे पेट्रोल पंप वाला बोलता है सर आज डीजल ना 10% ऑफ है, अपनी गाड़ी में डाल देता हूँ. What will you tell him?
doesn't make sense.
Petrol is no machine. There is no machinery in the world you can mix petrol and diesel. But दोनों तो बाजू में बिकते हैं ना वहाँ पे. हम दोनों को फ्यूल बुलाते हैं. And by that logic, you should be able to put गाड़ी तो फ्यूल पे चलता है. Same way, we never mix derivatives and the cash market ever. This is the first and only rule of the market. If you are doing this, there is a very good chance your trades are not going as per your expectation. अपना पेट्रोल पंप पे तो सीएनजी भी मिलता है. नेक्स्ट सीएनजी डालोगे अपनी गाड़ी में. इट इज स्पेसिफिक. आप घर पे जब खाना बनाते हो, you use LPG.
Right.
When you want to heat food, you use microwave.
Right.
You cannot mix sources of energy the same way you cannot mix multiple financial products. If you want to trade in the market, this is the first and most important rule.
Right.
So, अगर आपका study has been on Nifty cash chart and आप उसको derivative में trade convert करते हो, I can take a guess, a lot of trades do not go as per expectation.
Right.
Okay. Now, what I have been teaching and what I have been building from the last 3.5 years is a way where we can only trade derivatives without looking at the index. I have personally not seen the index in a couple of years. Right. And we're going to see how, why. So if you are the first rule of trading, if you are a derivative trader, please stop looking at the cash index. जब मार्केट खत्म भी होता है ना, वो NSE एक मैसेज भेजता है कितना टर्नओवर हुआ है. It will say cash market turnover, F&O turnover.
Right.
Even there it is divided very well.
Right.
So how did all of us get into looking at the cash market and trading derivatives? This is the most basic question. So if we are doing it, there's a very good chance there is a flaw in your learning. मतलब जब आप गाड़ी भी खरीदते हो, एड में तो दिखता है ना गाड़ी बहुत अच्छे से हाईवे पे चल रही है, but you stay in Bangalore, I stay in Bombay, your car will not go more than 40 kilometers an hour in any city.
Right.
We adapt. Can I go on the road and say, नहीं ये तो highway वाला feel आना चाहिए, I want to go faster? If I go faster and I am reckless, what is going to happen with my car? I'm going to damage that car.
Yeah.
So that is the first and most important rule. And today we are going to look at some parts of how do you trade derivatives accurately. And when I'm saying accurately, I mean to one single number accuracy. One single number. That is accuracy. Okay. And how options will always give you an advantage when it comes to your studies. A lot of people say that, पहले माना जाता था कि options are based on spot. Then people said options are actually based on futures. Then there's a new thing that's based on synthetic futures. All three are very different. Options have always been working independently. You might disagree, supposing. Let's say tomorrow we disable F&O in India. Will our cash market work properly, normally?
No. मतलब लोगों को for multiple reasons they have their own importance.
मान लो कल पूरा डेरिवेटिव ट्रेडिंग बंद कर दिया, कैश मार्केट तो चलेगा, you will have all your stocks which will continue trading on the stock market. Correct? So can I say cash and derivatives anyway are two different? This is the basic. अब मान लीजिए कभी कभी ऐसे हमने देखा है, all of us, if we have been traders in the past, we have seen कभी ना सुबह हमने अपना टर्मिनल खोला या हमने अपना चार्ट खोला एंड वी सी यार पीछे से डेटा ही अपडेट नहीं हो रहा, निफ्टी, बैंक निफ्टी और इंडेक्स नंबर्स आर नॉट गेटिंग अपडेटेड, ग्लिच होता है समटाइम्स, 5 minute data feed may not come. We all have maybe experienced it once in a while. So yeah, infrastructure is amazing in India, but we've experienced that, right? तो मान लो अगर 5 मिनट निफ्टी, बैंक निफ्टी, फिर निफ्टी के नंबर्स अपडेट नहीं होते, will our entire derivative market collapse?
मतलब वो तो
Every strike.
मतलब काफी लोग उसी पे बेस पे कर रहे हैं, तो उनके तो हालत खराब.
So supposing 5 मिनट का ग्लिच आ गया, आपका इंडेक्स इज नॉट अपडेटिंग, will all strike prices come down to zero?
No.
They will still continue to work the way they do. Right. There will be confusion. Your price will never collapse across 20 strike prices in each and everything. But both are two separate entities. We can say they are related to each other. That's just like saying कि घर में 4 जन है, माता पिता बच्चे, they're all related. But आपका आधार कार्ड is different, PAN number is different, blood group is different. Right. So you have to treat options completely independently. And the way I make everyone do is, we do not look at the index ever. It takes 2 full days to get everybody out of that and only on derivative charts, because there is a way to get your pinpoint accuracy. I'm not talking trading. See, trader alag hota hai. Someone can be a good trader, bad, revenge trader. But I'm saying even in knowing your levels, your resistance point, the exact place where the market can turn in advance. We're going to see some examples. You might say, this is not possible. And I want you to say that, but we're going to go and see, we're going to see a couple of very simple examples how the market has always done this. All right. So we'll do that. And is there any question that you want to ask me before we start?
Not right now.
Okay. And does this thing sound interesting?
Yes, of course. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So, ठीक है. So what I'm going to do is, at some point, I'm just going to open some charts and show you. Um, hey. Okay. So, Vishnu, my screen is available to you, right?
Yes, I can see a Nifty chart. Nifty ka 19900 call option chart.
Perfect. ठीक है. So, 8 minutes. I'm just going to change my screen. There's something else I want to show you first. So, so I've just opened the Nifty index right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to open one interesting thing for you. I'm going to open a 20,000 ka call. But I'm going to open the December series. December. Here, 20,000 December. Now, let me show you one simple thing. When did we make our all-time high? Just couple of 2 months back, we made an all-time high on Nifty.
Yeah.
We made it on 20th July. Okay, what if I tell you on 20th July, we very well knew that that was going to be a temporary top in the market.
Okay.
We are, मतलब, आप बोलोगे यार ये तो मतलब बहुत बार सुना है. But what if I tell you the option chart has told us in advance? So let's just go and look at this. This is the 20,000 December chart. Now, what is the importance of a December chart? December charts are where people hedge portfolios. Okay. When you have a massive portfolio and you want to hedge it, you don't hedge it in the monthly, etc. When people want to hedge it for a long time, we go all the way to December. Now, I'm going to show you one single thing. Let's draw one simple horizontal line over here. Okay, a simple horizontal line draw karte hain. Now, you tell me what do you see over here, and we'll take it from there. What is this?
Right. 3 times it has taken resistance at 9.
A triple top?
Yeah.
A triple top?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for anybody who's trading the market, we first made our first double top on 1st of December. If you go back to 1st of December 2022, we made an all-time high of 18,887 something on the index. Okay. Now, this is a December chart where portfolios are hedged. So sellers sold over here first time, sellers sold the market over here the second time. The same thing happened once again on 20th July. We once again sold the entire market over there. Now, did the index tell you that day कि उस दिन तो people wanted to celebrate 20,000 or I need 20,000. Before 20,000 came, 19,200 came. But this is a simple option chart. Now, for anybody who's following basic technicals, we know there's an importance of double top and triple top, triple bottoms in the market. What is this structure? A very simple triple top structure.
Yeah.
And what happened after that? Completely collapsed.
Yeah.
So forget 20,000. It almost felt like, yeah, you are going to see a correction cycles generally go in 2 to 4% ranges.
Yeah.
And we got a healthy 3.5-4%. अब निफ्टी का चार्ट खोलिए, फ्यूचर्स खोलिए, सिंथेटिक फ्यूचर्स खोलिए, none of them have given you this information in advance. This is how your markets always behave. Right? So, how people want to catch tops and bottoms. That's it. Now, this is obviously, this chart will not be useful for, everyday use, but this is something that gives you a very clear idea that this is where options are being massively sold and the market turns from these particular levels on every derivative chart. The reason I've taken a December, because this is the place where you have data from the last 1 year. So keep in mind, these charts are active all the way from May of 2022. Okay, तब तो ज़्यादा data नहीं था, but now there is proper data. And then somebody can also say that, but volume नहीं है, it is OTM. Look at the kind of volumes that get traded every day, 200, 300,000. And this is on a derivative which is 4-5 months down the line, monthly and yearly. Okay, so this is one of the most important. Now, can we say that by this logic, we knew exactly what was going to happen on 21st July, 20th July, sorry. Triple top, market reacted perfectly to that.
Right.
So this is evidence number one.
Mhm.
Okay. So whenever you are trading derivatives, now generally what will happen is the next time we have any rally. So right now there are two scenarios. Either we've made a complete top, okay, we made an all-time high and we've come. I'm not talking about the index. See, keep in mind, index, that is cash index. Can you buy cash index?
No.
एक तो cash market, second you can't trade also. Why do we keep looking at the cash index to trade on derivatives? Derivatives are actually much simpler to understand. They'll tell you the health of the markets little more in advance compared to anything else. So this is your simple reason to always be looking at the right chart for the right thing. Now, let's say supposing quick pullback hota hai, there's a rally on top. The next time you're not going to see a fourth time. This price is going to break higher, and from a higher thing it might turn. Okay, that is always going to be the nature of how your market goes. So this is what you're always going to look at. Okay, so this is one simple thing that we've seen so far. Now, next time you want to know a major turning point, go look at charts where major portfolios are hedged or major amount. And keep in mind, 99.999% of retail participants will never even look here. They'll never want to do it. Why? Because a simple reason hai. This option is expensive. So, Vishu, मान लीजिए आप अगर एक लड़ाई में जाते किसी के साथ, you're in a fight with somebody, and आपको अपना एक दोस्त बुलाना होता है. You have option there to call two friends. Okay, one of them is very skinny and one of them is well built. Who do you call to the fight?
Of course, the well-built ones.
Yeah. So stop buying cheap options.
Right.
Because when they collapse, they will wipe your entire capital around. Okay. So that is one thing. The moment we change our view on ki I have less capital does not mean I have to buy cheap. Let's put it this way. You stay in Bangalore. Now, if you wanted to go buy a really nice house, like you wanted to buy a house and you wanted ki, I want to buy something which doesn't lose its value. Will you go buy a very cheap house, or you'll be aspirational, say, no, I want to buy it in that area where the houses are expensive. See, keep in mind, wealth, when people want to invest, they always buy things which have the least depreciation value. Never go and trade very cheap options unless you have like a 3, 4, 5 year experience in the market. It is going to take everything away from you. The wealth is never created by buying cheap. You might as well buy expensive and better because it's going to protect your capital quite a lot. You also have to be a good trader on top of that. So that is the other thing to keep in mind. Okay. So this is just one example of what we can look at. Now, what else do we want to learn?
Right. I've seen a lot of squares and circles, sir, on your charts when I followed you. I never understood them.
Okay. See, so our market is always okay. Our market has. So I'm just going to open one chart. I just built it for you. This is the 19900 call. I've just taken it randomly, and this is for the coming week expiry. Okay. Obviously, this chart, the reason I took it, it's a monthly. It has data from the last about 10, 12, trading sessions, etc. Coffee data is made. Now, why squares and why circles? We are going to come to that. But keep in mind, our market does not work in single simple patterns. Okay, price action fails about 45% of the time in our market. Price action is actually much more simpler in the American markets because our markets do not follow simple price action. Our markets always follow complex price action. So anybody who's a price action trader, now I have seen some fantastic traders. Yeah, their way of trading price action is mind blowing. But we know, see, price action is a lagging tool. Lagging tool क्या होता है? Price action क्या होता है? When a lot of trading is happening, somebody is doing scalping, somebody is doing buying, selling, hedging, कोई volume का game कर रहा है. The cumulative of all of that shows you as price action on your screen. Okay, so it is always in process. It is never a leading indicator. Why? Because we will mark, somebody will mark, let's say, parallel channel. Somebody will do something and say, "Ha, yahan se breakout, I will buy." But that breakout can turn into fake out also. So, is there a better way? Now, on any chart, what do you have on the right side of your chart?
Price,
And what do you have at the bottom of your chart?
time.
हम टाइम क्यों डालते हैं अपने चार्ट पे? हमें तो पता होता है मार्केट कितने बजे खुल रहा है, कितने बजे बंद हो रहा है.
हिस्टोरिकल डेटा को आई गेस स्टडी करने के लिए इट्स हेल्पफुल कि कहाँ से क्या जा रहा
See, when you buy mutual funds, do you ever get a statement which says what time your fund was bought?
है. नो.
When you, so see, time plays a very important role in the cash and derivative market. Simple. If somebody was to ask you, आपका जन्मदिन कौन सा है? You will give me some date कि it is so and so date. But if I go and ask your parents कि when was he born, they'll give me one more metric. क्या देंगे एक्स्ट्रा एक डेटा वो देंगे मुझे?
आई गेस टाइम या फिर उसका हिंदी का
टाइम 100% टाइम देंगे. वो बहुत प्राउडली बोलेंगे यार नहीं सुनो ये इतने बजे पैदा हुआ था. Now, if when you want to go meet a friend, मान लीजिए your friend stays about 4-5 kilometers from your house. What do you tell your friend? क्या बोलोगे? अगर आपको आज शाम को मिलना है, what will you tell him?
जहाँ पे भी मिलना है वो टाइम एंड प्लेस उसका.
Correct. So if your friend stays 5 kilometers away, हम कभी ये नहीं कहते ना I'll meet you in 5 kilometers. We convert that also into time. Right. आप ऑफिस भी टाइम पे आते हो. Right. So time always marks the beginning or the end of an event. That is why it is very important at the bottom of our chart. Okay. Now keep in mind, one of it is x-axis, एक y-axis. Time and price, they literally hate each other. Okay. We are going to see a lot of examples of how they hate each other and how we use it to our advantage. Okay. So that is where some of the GAN systems come into play. Now GAN is a very vast subject. अगर आप सीखने जाओगे, यार, it can take you about 2 years also. It is equally boring. The one thing to keep in mind about GAN is he wrote a lot of books, but he never disclosed a lot of things. So we've learned a lot of things by interpretation. Somebody has decoded, somebody has interpreted, and all of us have learned over a period of time. So there are multiple ways to look at it. There are multiple things to look at. We're not going to go into everything. Now, GAN probably might have, let's say, 100 odd concepts. Keep in mind, on the Indian derivative market, okay, only 3 methods work with pinpoint accuracy.
Okay.
Every other method works with some accuracy. Like, for example, price action on the Indian derivative market. Okay, I'm not talking cash market. It's not tradable. On the Indian derivative market, price action works about 55% of the time. मतलब 45%, तो यार, it's going to take your stop loss away. You have things like Elliott wave, Darwin's box, etc. Everything. आप moving average लगा लीजिए, आप EMA लगा लीजिए. Everything works to a certain extent only. And we should know that before we trade. The method I'm using, let's say, it has a 60% success rate. So I have to position myself accordingly. I have to do things accordingly. Okay. So now in the last 3-4 years, when we have put all our effort into studying every chart and studying every derivative chart, and what has also happened is in the last 3 years, our derivative charts have gotten much better. Okay. Matlab, before trading view was there, we used to have that thing called chart IQ or something. Oh, it was horrible. Like, you could never do half the studies on it. Okay. But ever since our charts have got better, see, all the charts were built to show us price. Unfortunately, price is not the only thing that you're supposed to see. So till date, you will see some brokers who have charts where they only focus on price. Okay. Price plays an important role, but it limits a lot of your studies to get accuracy. So let's look at some small concepts to understand what is it that we can do, what is it we can look for. Let's look at some of those things. Okay. So have you ever drawn a trend line?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I mean, I think yes.
Okay. ठीक है. So let us go and run through one particular setup for you, and see what we can do over there. एक second. Let me just open it for you.
Cash trading with trend lines are my favorite. I try to connect their try to find bottoms and then buy them at least risk point.
Okay. So I am now shifted to a Bank Nifty chart. Okay. This is a monthly chart 45,500. The reason I've taken, because now this is your next expiry. So anybody can even go and check it out for a couple of days. Now, how do you traditionally put trend line? Now, you correct me if I'm wrong. Most people from a price action perspective might say, you know what, this is a trend line for me, for example. ठीक है? And whenever इसका breakout होगा, I will go and trade it. What is the other way? A lot of us will also do one other simple thing. Is we will connect tops and say, okay, you know what, अगर ये breakout होता है, then we will do. Or we will even go and connect, let's say, a lot of bottoms in the market. Ki, this is support, this is support. See, you can only draw a trend line after price has been printed. You can't draw it in advance.
Yeah.
So this is nothing but a fixed moving average. This is a moving average. Right. Fixed.
Right.
Okay. A lot of people use VWAP.
Yeah.
Why VWAP?
It is also kind of a moving average. It also includes volume ka weightage usna.
So are you saying कि volume is very important in the market?
Yes, I think at least cash में, when you get into cash, generally it follows कि कोई बड़ा movement हुआ है, some institutional investor is entering or exiting.
Here is a 44. Wait, this is a 44,000 ka put. Okay. Now there is some volume over here. Correct?
Yeah.
But if you see, in the past, our chart will even move without volume. Let me give you an example. So let's take a 46,000 ka call. Okay, let's take 46,500 for example. This is very far away, 46,500.
Yeah.
So, okay, for some reason, my volume is not updating. But all of this volume is hardly anything in the market, okay, that has come today. Hardly. But in this one thing, we fell by 50%. Now, price has been falling. If you see the whole of yesterday, there was hardly any volume. Volume is never necessary, because sometimes when you go deep in the money, strikes, etc., you will notice one very simple pattern. Even if there is no volume, no activity, price has to move according to the movement of the market. Okay, volume is important, but it is not the most important thing ever to look at. Okay, so if you continue to use a lot of volume, it might not work in your favor. And VWAP is used to maybe derive certain things, but what if there was a way? And what are we using VWAP? कि VWAP के ऊपर होगा तो we will buy, and VWAP के नीचे जाएगा तो we will sell as option sellers.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
But what if we don't need to use that? Now let's do one simple thing. I've already pre-done a couple of studies for you, so that you can benefit out of this. So let's do one simple thing. Here, I've just marked let's say a very odd trend line. This is an odd trend line. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
ठीक है, मतलब ऐसा तो कोई यूज भी नहीं करेगा मार्केट में. Are there some more examples of trend lines? Let us go and check. So we are going to see something, and you will validate whether it is accurate, working, not working, all of the above. एक second, calm down. Okay, so let us at any given time keep in mind your trend line is nothing but a fixed moving average. ठीक है? And moving averages by default will have a lot of whipsaws built into it. Now, imagine, supposing I just took this, okay, from here to here. What have I done? I have just taken it from any swing low to a particular end. Okay, this is the last place where the bar could go, and I have just kept it. Now, go to your bar ka settings, there is something called a middle point. Now when you enable that, ये यहाँ पे एक middle point आता है. Okay. Now let us see, does this give me any information in advance? So I'm just going to mark a horizontal line on the middle point. Where is the middle point? The middle point is this. ठीक है, ये entire इसका middle point is this. Now, is this important? ये 11th का जो भी है, some middle point. Let us go and see in the future. Is that level very important? Can we see anything that happened at that particular level?
Yeah, it has taken support twice there.
Exact support? Okay, अभी और जरा future में जाके देखते हैं. Can we say this was also important in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, this is part one, but this might be too easy. Okay. For example, now let me go and measure another thing for you. Let's say I took my trend line from here to here. Okay, this is what some on your screen क्या दिख रहा है, कितने points?
176 points.
Okay, and I might be wrong by 1 point here and there, but I'll just adjust it. 176, 178 points. Take it. Now, let us do one very simple thing. I will clone this. And I will put this on top. Let me mark with a horizontal line. Now, let us see, is there anything useful that happened here? Can I say it was some kind of support here? Pura market would collapse, but it would take support right over there and bounce back. It would collapse, take support, bounce back. Does your index give you all of this in advance? कि ये एक level है, एक number है.
Right.
Okay, ये तो support था, but before it became support, it is also resistance. For a good 2 days, price did not go here, did not go. Yes, it went on top. It did a rally, it came down again. Multiple times you tried. Imagine, in Bank Nifty, you can't push a derivative. It doesn't sustain above that. It's only when it sustains, it goes to the next level. ठीक है, अभी एक चीज और देखते हैं, क्या ये मैंने 178 points लिया था, correct? What if I was to clone this once again and mark a horizontal line over here? Now tell me, is that important?
Yeah.
The whole market reacted to that. Does your index give you any of this information in advance?
Right.
अभी ये तो चलो ठीक है, ये तो आप बोलोगे कि सर ये तो आपको पता था. Now let me do one more thing. I will place it 178 points below, and I will draw another line for you. Oh, by the way, ये तो हम फ्यूचर में देख रहे हैं, पास्ट में जाके देखते हैं जरा. Okay, past is okay. This chart, हाँ. Can you see today where we opened? This is today's. And can you see after the opening thing, price tried to take some support, did not sustain, and we collapsed.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I add another, and I go and put this simple line, see where we ended today?
Right.
Now tell me, was this very difficult to figure out?
It doesn't look real.
Me and you both have the same charts.
Yeah.
हम दोनों के पास literally same chart है. Okay. So it is all about knowing your angles from where to take what, so you get the proper thing. Now, even if let's say I will reset this chart, let me see, इसके past में और कुछ है. By the way, so with these levels, even in the past, if you see, they always have had importance. Okay, there was some kind of support, resistance, at all of this. Now, each chart will always have different levels, different support and resistance. And you will notice one very simple thing. Whenever this breaks, the next thing is straight this. Whenever this breaks, the next thing is straight this. Okay. Price can open in between, etc., etc. अच्छा, अभी अब आप बोलोगे सर ये तो अब हाउ, ये बीच का हाउ डू वी फाइंड आउट?
That.
1 second. There's a simpler way of doing it. Yeah. That's your 50% level. And let me go and move this here. Can I say on this level, a lot of support resistance happened?
Yeah.
Does your index tell you all of this in advance? Okay, and my same cheese. Let me extend this actually here all the way. You see, yesterday how we ended? We came, took support of this, did not close below that and closed above. And morning straight collapsed. Now the same thing if I go and again go and put it below over here. Now see the importance of that same level. Is it giving you some indication of what can happen? And can we know this level in advance of trading? Absolutely. So the only time you start trading option is once you even get the basics of finding your levels in advance. And 9 out of 10 times it will always be one particular number, which will decide the future of the trend. It will decide opening, closing, a lot of things. Now, are you surprised how we closed over here today? ये तो अभी मतलब what 1.5 hours before our call happened, the market decided to close here.
Right.
Me and you had no idea. I built this chart for you, I think yesterday or day before. But that is how it works.
Right.
Now, in case there has to be any reversal, okay, let's say price goes down, etc., etc. Now, how do you catch trends? How do we catch trend? Market में सबसे बड़ा confusion है कि यार किसी को idea नहीं है how do you catch a trend? Very simple. If the price goes below this, okay, and on this chart we were using a particular multiplier. Sorry, sorry, my bad. We were using a particular range, ना ये वाला range. अभी इसको नीचे करूँगा तो ये तो zero जा रहा है. So what is the market telling us in advance? That the monthly of 45,500, if it breaks this, is going to expire below zero. That means you're going to see your number of 45,400, 300, something. Monthly chart, which is another 4 days away from for expiry of Bank Nifty. Now, for doing all of this, do I need to look at the index? Absolutely not. And at which point will I turn bullish? So very simple. Let price come down. Let price come down as much as it wants. Only when it goes back is when you start buying for the 50% level. Okay, don't do this randomly. This comes with a lot of practice. So actually, there are some more components to it. It might take about 2 hours to even explain that. I'm not going to explain deep, but I'm just giving you an idea how a market does these simple things every given time. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of all of this that I have drawn over here. But did you understand the simple concept that we saw? Right? So this is support and resistance. Now I'll show you one more example. This is basically an impulse wave. Now, if you open your calendar, 14th of, I've just taken 14th, okay? I have taken basically an impulse. This is an impulse in the market. See, every day, our closing candle and our opening candle has a lot of information. Similarly, the last swing of the day, the first impulse, the last impulse of the day, with that, you can define the entire market inside out. ये 14th का example लेते हैं. What have I done? I have just taken an entire impulse. Simple. मैंने बस एक छोटा सा trend line डाल दिया यहाँ पे. Now, and keep in mind, this is just something we have to learn as beginners. Okay, this is not even for the professionals, etc., etc. Now, do the same thing. Activate your middle point. Middle point, एक यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा circle दिखता है. So I will just go and draw horizontal line here. Got it? First impulse, 14th ko, I drew one horizontal line. Now, was that line important for the rest of the chart? Absolutely. It gave full support and market jumped about 20%, full support, 15-20% jump, full support, 15-20% jump. Multiple times it happened. Same story I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the range of this. This is about 197 points. What is इससे पहले we were looking at a 178 point का range, correct? Okay. Now, let me go and place it over here, for example. Oh, sorry, I'll just do it from here. This is 178 points. So if I go and mark this 178 over here, taking a line ke upar, and I mark this. Now, did we get an exact 1 point number where the entire market touched and collapsed? And can you see the bottom? So 198 points in about 5-6 candles.
Right.
If I'm an option buyer and seller, I have no business looking at the index at all. And right now, we've not even started with anything fancy. This is the basic of how a derivative chart. Okay, and what have I taken? I have taken an example of something, what about 7-8 trading sessions back. And I'm just using it. Now, hum yehi cheez, we'll go put it down and see, is there any importance to this level? Let's see. In the past, was there any importance? Can we say, ye to past ka bhi dikhayega aapko? Yes, that is the place where the market earlier was a resistance point for the market. And let us see in the future at this particular level. Whatever this level is, I don't know, but okay, there was no trading that happened here. Now, if I go and pull one more layer below this and I mark a horizontal, pehle past mein bhi dekh lete hain. Did we get some form of support over here once upon a time? Potentially. One full day, the market did not go above this. One full day. And let us see in the future what happened. This is the exact place where yesterday, for example, the market came, did a full retest of this one particular number, did not, and we have seen what happened today. Chalo, if I add another whatever below this, and I go and mark this number, ये तो आज का चार्ट है. Same story. Now let us go and see in the past. There was some form of support resistance, but since we've derived it in the future, all your future levels will start depending on this. Sorry, where did it go? And if I go and take this entire thing and put it once more below that, and whatever is the next number that comes, it is coming down to 0 straight away. It's actually coming to 2 rupees, whatever. Okay, so we'll come to know Bank Nifty ki kismat mein kya hai, whether it is 2 rupees or whether what happens. But this has given you an exact range of the entire market. Literally. Yeah. So can I say, as a basic concept to learn the market, this one particular impulse over here or this one particular trend line, it will always keep you on the right side of the trade. Always. Okay. So whenever you are trading, first of all, do not look at the index. Number 2, always go and mark your impulse. Okay, now you have to study impulse if you want to survive in this market. And I'm not talking impulse from a perspective of an Elliott wave, etc. Just impulse. And the entire impulse on the market has a lot of information attached to it. There's a saying in our market, no, that retailers open the market and professionals close the market.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if there were more ways to figure out? By the way, do you know what's the importance of your 915 candle?
It's the opening candle. मतलब generally volatility बहुत रहती है, and often I've heard people say कि वो 920 के बाद करते हैं so that वो volatility initial निकल जाए.
Okay, so whenever I get a very, very bad trader, who not bad trader but somebody whose learning curve is very slow, और we come across traders जिनका ये होता है कि नहीं मुझे ना कुछ तो I need something. यार, see, your first candle of the day, okay, your first candle of the day has one piece of information, and this particular, don't use it as a trading strategy, but you can always use it to mark your levels and keep. This has very low accuracy of about 85-88%, very low accuracy. And why am I saying very low? We just saw a method where we could pinpoint all support resistance points in the market. So very low accuracy ka kya matlab hai? Very simple. You can take a Fibonacci retracement. Now, and I will just use all the default. So, for example, you can take anytime you want to know यार what or you just want to know something यार आज कुछ तो पता चल गया मार्केट में क्या होगा. Just take your simple 9:15 candle over here. Like, if you have any particular date, tell me. We can go and do this for all the dates. Yeah, 9:15 का high ले लिया, low ले लिया. You get a 1.618. Mark it and keep it. Just mark it and keep it. The second thing you can do, double click. There's an option called reverse over here. And there is a 1.618 here also. Mark it and keep it. Now, this is 14th. मान लीजिए 9:15 का 5-minute candle. Don't do it on a 4-minute. Now tell me one thing. What do you see through the better part of the day, the next day? Was this level slightly important?
Yeah.
ये तो यार opening 9:15 candle से मिला. Now, supposing if I will just hide these two, or we'll use it as reference points again. Now, मान लीजिए मैं 15th को वही करता हूँ here 15th, and I want to do one thing. I will mark a 1.618, and I will also reverse it and mark the 1.618 below that. Now, once again, do these levels look important at some point? Okay, with 1.618, you have to keep in mind the failure rate of Fibonacci. See, Fibonacci, very few traders have been able to trade successfully using Fibonacci. Okay, price action maybe there are a very small band of traders because Fibonacci kya hota hai, we keep guessing, oh, wave market take supported 0.2, then 0.3, 0.5, 0. So as a trader, you're using a tool which has very low accuracy. And I am not saying that, people don't use it. People use it brilliantly. Okay, like there are some minds you have to literally sit with those traders. You will be amazed how their mind works. So at any given time, if you have free time, instead of wasting time in trading, go and sit with professional traders. Don't ask them, sir, what do I buy, call, put. Sit and understand, see how their brain works in the market. Okay, that is the fastest way to learn. Now, very important in the future, these two levels. Past में भी देखते हैं, were they important?
Right.
So can I say that we have multiple ways to figure out? See, now what happens with 1.618? I'll just give you an example. Let's say your price at some point started going above. Now the failure rate, failure rate. I'm just going to write it here. Failure rate above 1.618 is as high as 70%. Okay. Now what do I mean by that? If you're lucky, you will catch other levels on top. Otherwise, the market has a tendency to reverse very quickly from these levels. Let the market go do anything. Okay, 7 out of 10 times. 7 out of 10 times, market will come to retest this level back again. So if you don't know your levels, the market will come, and once it breaks, gone. Your market goes on top, traps everyone. Next morning, you open at the bottom level. Exact number, exact bottom. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah.
So a lot of traps will continue to happen over here. Now, if you are a retail participant, you're using the index and you're not using a derivative chart, please get out of the market and stop calling yourself a trader immediately. I have, like, unfortunately, like in the last 3-4 years, since we have only been building charts, okay, or we actually, like, यार पहले समझ नहीं आ रहा था why weekly में इतने losses, this, that. The only way one of my mentors, I think 3-4 years back, said, listen, stop trading and get into the bottom of it. ठीक है, we'll do that. So the more we got into it, we started studying every chart. Yeah, but when we started getting these trading view versions of the charts, because बहुत पहले तो यार about some 12-15 years back, used to depend on वो क्या Yahoo Finance एक कुछ आता था, investing.com, but then they never had derivatives. Chart IQ was there, very limited on the functionality because Chart IQ focused a lot more on price. Yeah. So when these things came, they got us that exact pinpoint level to figure out. Then we kept taking every single tool and started marking and realized that there is a lot of flaw when it comes to pinpoint accuracy. So that's why whenever you're using something like this, keep in mind, it is very low accuracy of 85%. And with Fibonacci especially, Okay, so do not use it actively, but you can definitely make use of those 1.618 levels. And we have seen, ये तो हमने mark किया, future, past, everything seems to be working at this level. Now, let us go and take some 2 other dates so that you have an idea ki how this thing has always been. And keep in mind, this is Bank Nifty. Okay, Bank Nifty, if entire Bank Nifty is relying on one particular number, there is something to it. अब ये देख लीजिए, कल का देखते हैं. The first 5 minutes, I am going to apply that same logic over here. Wait, -1. We open, okay. Minus 1.618. So I am going to apply this 1.618 here and this 1.618 over here. Now, I marked those 2 levels. Can you see that even in the past, there is some use of those 2 levels? Market did not sustain above, and only when it massively crossed will you see very good moves. Now, this is based on just yesterday's, okay? Just yesterday's. Wait, have I marked it correctly? Sorry, correct. Wait, sorry, my bad. It was not that one. That minus does not work. This works. Yesterday ka opening candle gave us this range. Market came, tested the 1.618, did not survive and collapsed. Literally collapsed. Same thing. Today morning. Let me, sorry, where is she gonna keep? I'll just double click, I will reverse it. And let's see, did we, sorry, it was already reversed. We closed below that. See, why are these levels important? Because in case you're taking a trade, okay, these levels are places where you should always exit once. You always have a right to re-enter. These levels trap us a lot. A lot means a lot. Because the failure rate above 1.618 is very, very high. Very high. So don't be surprised if suddenly you see price going above this in Bank Nifty. So anybody, whenever you do positions, okay, now there is a way. There are, I think, 1 or 2 methods of price time, where we use it if somebody wants to carry overnight positions, etc. But very carefully, but never do overnight positions because you don't know what you're in for. But you understand what information the first candle of every day carries?
Right.
So can you use that also to your advantage?
Right.
Right? So very simple way of looking at the market. Now, if you, and does your index give you any of this? No. So see, I'm hoping that by the end of today, you stop using the index.
I'll start opening option charts much more now.
You should. You will be surprised. Now, let me take you through. By the way, is there something more you want to know? Like, give me an idea. Like, where do you think most people are getting stuck?
I think काफी लोग जो at least so one angle you covered was कि cheap options buy करना when you're starting and because they're even more harder to handle and buying में especially आपका success ratio बहुत कम होता है even if market stays flat or it goes against you आप lose out करोगे selling फिर भी flat आपको आपका side ले लेगा. So that is, I think,
by the way, your option sellers are in for a lot of trouble from the last 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened is, unfortunately, due to COVID, yes, we saw a massive uptick in IVs, XYZ. At least till May next year, option sellers are not going to have fun in the market. See, our market keeps maturing every season. Okay. Maturing means it's also a function of how well world events are managed because we work a lot on news. And a lot of people around the world are working very hard to stabilize economies. Which means you are not going to, as option sellers, you are not going to see the kind of returns you were getting before. Okay. Option buyers, anyway, unfortunately, they learn on the wrong side of the market. So if you're an option seller and you have been doing, whatever returns you've been getting in the past, the market has stopped working according to that. Especially people who do directional. Because non-directional, it's a function of some moving average, some RSI based something, you can always do that. Whenever, okay, you can just use this as a rule. Whenever you're building an algo, do not test the algo before 19th of September 2021. No, sorry, 19th of October 2021. 19th October 2021, we made an all-time high of 18,604 in our market. Before that, for one full year, little more than 1 year, every day we were making an all-time high. Our oscillators were unusually bullish. Okay. So whenever people do algos, वो क्या होता है? They want to see 5-year report. ठीक है? A 5-year report says something, they deploy capital and they say, yeah, return is not coming that way. So whenever you're building any product, do not use data before the 19th of October 2021, because after that, our market started doing one very simple thing of creating amazing swing trading in the market. And you need that because that is normal cycle of the market. COVID was an unusual global catastrophe. So if you're building anything and you're relying on past data, whether it is, mutual fund, it is any of it, from every testing that we have done before 19th, the moment you do that as your first date, you get completely different numbers in the market. That is one very important thing. And if you're building algos, don't build algos to run every day for 30 days. You have to refresh your algos every 7-8 days. Our market structure has now become very different than what it was before. Okay, so see, because my background started about 3-4 years when we started building tools. COVID se pehle na, we had something. Oh, bichara, we came out with one indicator, we got hit by COVID. That indicator was supposed to, that is how we started. Because I come from a media and an education field background. And we understood that there is this major gap in the education of India. So 3.5 years back, we started and we realized we ourselves didn't have enough education and we were trying to solve something. So yeah, we learned from a lot of people, understood. One of the best guys to always sit and observe, okay, is Forex traders. Keep in mind, foreign currency does not move crazy. Neto, your IT will just collapse. And you have more Forex traders and they sit and they trade very narrow ranges. And they sit very patiently and they trade the market accurately. So whenever you want to study someone for patience, you want to study someone for strategy, just quietly go and look at the American and European Forex traders. Their way of trading the market can make you a fantastic trader in terms of discipline. So that is one thing, please look at. So coming back to this is we figured out long back that there is a major gap between the way we've been trading derivatives and what we've learned how to do, in all of this. So pre-COVID, we tried to release something by courtesy COVID that went down the drain, whatever. And then we got majorly into option charts. And for us to understand what to do, etc., we came across a couple of traders. Okay, and they were prop traders. So, chalo, okay, we'll build this system for you. We'll give you X, we'll give you Y. The problem with this is you can't use any of these as indicators in option charts. You can use them on the index, but index does not work at all. So we end up doing everything manually. So which means whenever some prop trader or मतलब पहले ही होता था उनको कुछ करना है तो first it used to take 1 month to teach them how to use it, and then tell them okay, you test it. Because see, one thing, whenever you're learning anything from a video or from YouTube, do not deploy full capital the very next day. And we see this all the time. I keep asking traders very simple thing. Tomorrow, if I want to become a pilot, today night I'll watch 3 YouTube videos. Kal I'll go and fly an aircraft. Is that possible? Vishu, why don't you become a doctor by tomorrow? I'll send you 1 book and 2 videos. Kal surgery karte hai.
Right.
So as a trader, do not do these things at all. Whenever you're trying to learn from somewhere, you have to practice it. So whenever somebody says, I want to learn, I have one condition, you have to pause your trading for 15 days. You know what reaction I get? वो सुनते ही 95% people never call back. Because they're like, no, I have, money, I want to trade. So the first thing I do is I cut off everybody's trading. When you're learning something, you want to learn it, you're going to practice it on a virtual system first. Okay, there's this thing in the market where, people will say, no, virtual mein emotion nahi hai, but I don't care, there's no emotion. Trading is all about pattern recognition. If you are, when you look at an EMA, for example, what are you looking at? Is price above the line or below the line, right? You are also trying to recognize pattern. So until you don't train yourself on a virtual system to recognize, because वहाँ पे पता चलता है कि how good or bad a trader you are. If you don't have the ability to do that, please do not enter the market and do not trade options. It will backfire majorly against you. Chalo, let's just look at some cool examples for you so that uh, wait, I think we were looking at Nifty, na? हाँ, मैं Nifty का chart खोल लेता हूँ. Now, I just showed you one simple thing that you can do. See, there are a lot of things. I'll take you, how do you want to do it? Do you want to do all of it today? You want to break it into 2 parts, 3 parts, or I can just show you a few systems.
I think multiple parts would be the best. If we can have a series of sessions, this can be maybe part one and then a lot more coming. So ताकि लोगों को absorb करने का time भी मिले and they can actually practice these things.
It can. Okay, so I think what we'll do is, for now, what I can do is I can show you. Okay, so I'll show you one very cool concept. Okay, one very, very cool thing. So I just have a lot of studies printed over here. Okay, so whenever you're using a GAN system, my honest appeal to everybody is, there's something called the GAN square of 9. Do not ever use it on Indian derivatives. Okay, there are probably 2 crore videos of that. Never use it on Indian derivatives. It is a concept that works beautifully in backtesting. Live market में मतलब आपका घर बिक जाएगा, but do not ever use that in the live market ever. Okay, so that is just a disclaimer from my end. You can have a different view, that's perfectly okay, but I just want to make sure that from a safety perspective, it's your hard-earned money. You should have respect for your time and money both. Now come on, let's see some fun thing. Have you seen this wave?
Yeah, I've seen them on charts on Twitter. I haven't ever used
Whose charts?
Your charts and I think GAN के ही principles भी कुछ एक handles में.
No, this has got nothing to do with GAN principle. Okay. So this is how your market moves. Yeah. Okay, this is how your market has always moved. Now, there's a way we derive this particular so-called vibration number and we leave it over there. Okay, I'm not getting into the how, what, because that is itself a 2-hour discussion. Now, let's say this wave. How do I know कि यार ये सही है, गलत है? So you will start seeing very soon that price actually seems to respect the lows, bottoms, and below this small traps are created. Above this small traps are created. Now, for example, I've marked a vibration number 358 over here. Going by first look, it looks like, sorry. It looks like the market respected that, and when price went on top, it went almost like what, about 20% over and above. 10-15% is what this thing gives you every single time. The next morning, we open gap down. The whole day we are trying to test one number and we again collapse. Now, this has a part 2 also. Okay, the one way where this is a larger chart I have made. Okay, now can you see how one day the market opens gap up, but it gets rejected by the wave? Yeah. Then when the market finally rallies, it starts taking the shape of the wave. Okay, so the wave itself, wherever price and time meet. Okay, like for example, I'll give you an example over here. ये देखिए, horizontal line. Can you see here price and wave have intersected? If I draw this, there's some number over here, 359. Okay, some number. Now tell me one thing. Is there any importance of that number in the future?
Yeah.
There is. Price and time are a concept. In textbook, it works differently. In practical, okay, if your study is perfect, it will always give you a resistance point in the future. This is the place where price and time meet, and you will see suddenly you will get the biggest moves, you'll get swings. Yeah, or it'll keep giving an impression is trying to break it, and doesn't break it at all. Okay, so, and you can see a lot more examples of that. You will come to the same conclusion. Now, this same thing over here, you will see that it was support first, it became resistance later, and then we collapsed. Let me open another thing over here. For example, there's wave 2. Okay. Now, upar ka wave is different, niche ka wave is different. Now, over here, you'll see there is another number marked. Some number, what? 244. Okay. And what do we see over here? Price comes, takes resistance, tries to go on top. Price goes to the above wave, comes back to this particular number. Okay, and that is where the market takes support, and it will gradually follow the wave. A lot of times it will not follow the wave. When does it not follow? Whenever there are rallies and we go sideways. Okay, now here also, if you look at very pyar se, it is literally taking the shape of the wave. So market is completely in sync over here. Got it? So you can use these particular concepts again. See, generally, most people will learn this when they're in the second or third evolution in the market. Starting with, when you come in the market, you learn candlesticks, you learn RSI, MACD, and those are very important studies to do. फिर आप trade लेते हो, you learn moving average, VWAP, you take trades, you lose money. By the time people come to GAN, it's like they're in the third phase कि नहीं, अभी 2 times I've blown my account, I'll come to this. And then finally, once even, when they learn too much of GAN and they learn, like, see, it depends who you learn, how you learn it from. Okay. Then finally, at some point, they're like, wait, hang on, there has to be another system. So I don't expect too many people to get into learning all this, but this is just an idea of how pinpoint accuracy matters. Moving averages, use it just as it's a lagging indicator.
Right.
OI data study karte hai na? Very few people have cracked OI data, but I don't need OI data. My charts will anyway tell me all of this in advance. Okay, so that is the key. Now, now can you see how price, these particular waves, even when price broke, ये तो कल का है. Can you see where price took support? Same number. Okay, now what if I open one more wave below this? And now I have another number over here, some 165. Can you see what happened the whole of yesterday over here? Closing के time, we couldn't cross that number. And morning we opened right there. Now, was it important even in the past? Maybe जाके देख लेते. Yes, it formed some form of resistance. It did not cross that particular level. Okay, so your market follows these structures. Waves are always different. The study is a little tedious. It's very boring, yaar. Honestly, it's a boring study. Now, is this accurate? Absolutely not. This is low accuracy of about 85-88%. Very low accuracy setup. Very low. Do not touch this unless you want to analyze the market. Okay, so this is more of an analysis method rather than a trading method. Now, let me show you another example. Now, this part, what I'm going to show you next, this is not for retail participants, never built for retail participants. It is based on one particular thing. I'm not going to deep dive into that, but I'm going to show you how momentum angles, okay, will define a lot of things for you in advance. Momentum angles are basically very specific angles, very specific entry point, exit points. And when put on your chart accurately, okay, these are places where the market, not only at that time, even in the future, will get 20-30% bounces. Okay, these are instantly, it will happen. So let me go and show you that. For example, this is my momentum angle. Wait, is it this? Possible? 1 minute. Great. So I have something called as a momentum angle over here. See, this is, it is not a simple trend line. This is a very particular angle, very particular thing. I've already pre-programmed and kept it over here. So for example, let's say I go and mark the top of the wave. Can you see I marked the top of the wave over here?
Yeah.
ठीक है, ये मैंने वहां से I put a momentum angle. Now at some point, price and time have cut over here. They have intersected. What if I draw a horizontal line over here and keep it? Okay, nothing happened. The structure was such that we went through, no problem. This momentum angle and this vibration number. Now I'm going to place it at the vibration number. Wherever price, time, and angle have met, I will just go and put it over there. Again, same thing. It's a momentum angle. It is supposed to give me something in the future. So far, this particular thing, nothing has happened over here so far. Okay. What if I am to move this to the next part? Here, ye wave say I got it over here to this wave. See, you understood what I did? Earlier I was here. I have just got it till here. Okay, it's the same number. I have moved a momentum angle ahead. And here price and time have met. Correct? Intersection. Can you see the importance of that in the future? There is some importance. It forms a particular bottom in the market, and straight away you will see this, 70-point rally that it gives you. So 20% move will come out of this particular thing. Same thing if I go and again put it at some other point, I will get another intersection. And let me show you the importance of that intersection. Did it create resistance in the market? And the same thing created support in the market? Similarly, I go and place it at the next part. So you can, and by the way, not just there, here, look at this. This is today morning. Once that thing broke, all the way till about 2 o'clock, we now for the first time our market has turned. Price has now gone above the momentum. It can take a dip and it will give you some kind of return after this. Okay, so when you take the exact thing and you place it properly, you will always get some metric in the market. Okay, and these momentum angles, like for example, I'll put this over here. First of all, it itself became support. And for example, let's say it intersected over here. Now we have never retested that level, which is the second place it went and tested this. Price came, retested that, and we collapsed again. It also went and touched this. Did we see anything? Nothing. We've not been able to go over there. So your momentum angles, it all depends from where have you started it, from which level you started it, and from which point you started it. Okay, so like I generally keep 1 or 2 on my chart, and you can place it wherever you want. You can even place it at the bottom of a wave and see, is it helping? Yes, it will. Okay, wherever. Now here it has intersected over here. I will just mark this, and you see this itself became a very important number in the future for your chart. Or kuch hua, this is the place where we opened yesterday. Can you see the relevance of that?
Right.
Now, does your index give you any of this? Okay, so we are not doing complicated things. We are doing we are using simple tools. I mean, not simple. I would say most would find this very tedious. How, what, etc. 1,000 questions will come. That's why the first thing, don't replicate this without the right knowledge. But once you do it, it'll be a lot of fun. Similarly, there's a third wave also, Nietzsche. Okay, and if I just take another momentum angle, again, these are all pre-done angles. This is the momentum angle. So same thing. Let's say I go and put it that same place where the angle and price meet. Can you see how we took support over here? And that same level came once again. Which is the next time where price and time met. Price and time then came all the way, I think, somewhere over here. Take a minor resistance. And you see how the market ended right on that number? Nothing random happens in our market when it comes to options. Okay? Nothing random happens. If you are looking at the index, you are literally wasting your time and money. Please open an NGO. You will do much better. So you understand the importance of issue. Before this call, we were wondering, now, kya hoga?
Right.
Right. So, yeah. And by the way, we can see a lot more examples. If I just move this to the next part here, again, what have I taken? Exact number, exact angle, exact this. And can you see how this became support for the market? This became resistance in the market. Right. So that is what you're always going to be looking for. How can I get an edge in the market? What is it that I need to know? And what is it that I do not know at this point? So all of this is very useful from that perspective. So you can apply this unlimited number of times. You will continue getting the same result. If I move it over here, let's say, yahan pe, I just moved it some random place, 14th. Now we are still behind, okay? 7 days back. That is the place where on that particular day when we broke, we saw all this reaction in the market. Always. Okay. Now, supposing I will do one more part over here. Instead of extending this, right, I will just take it back to this particular thing. Okay? And there is something called as a middle point. I've activated middle point. Now, can you see one small dot over here, middle point? I will just mark it with this and move this here. That's the midpoint. Now, can you see the importance of that midpoint? Exact place where our market opens. And this is the past, okay? So past can sometimes vary, but it will also give you a clean reference of how important it has always been in the market. Always. And what did I do? I just took this. This is a particular angle pre-programmed. I took the midpoint and we got this entire transaction. That's it. So use it in a particular manner where, so our market has been following. And these are, just small examples of, there are multiple more studies, as you mentioned, circle, square, this, that. Those get very complicated. Yes, it is a study. It is generally done, yeah, matlab, after someone is decently successful, or I would say most people who even try to learn it, they have, like I leave certain things only to pro traders, because pro traders generally have one quality which retail do not have, is they know how to cut their positions. They know how to, they have emotional mastery. Emotional mastery cannot be bought. Okay. Retail traders, unfortunately, yes, they want the knowledge, but a tool like this in the wrong hands will just destroy them completely. So you have to be very careful what tool you're giving in those hands. So this is just to give you a small example of, how we can see, etc., etc. So just one more simple example, nothing fancy, right? So that way we have a lot more things, how, what, etc., etc. We can see thousand of things. You want, I'll show you a couple of more, but choice is yours. Do you want to do this in more parts? You want to do it in something else?
I think I want more. I want to see it right now as well, and I want more parts of this as well. Can I choose both the options?
Sure, choice is yours. So do you want to do it today? You want to do it another day, or you will break it into 2-3 parts?
I think let's do it in multiple parts. I think आज के लिए बहुत सारा हम लोगों ने सीखा है. Let us
Okay.
थोड़ा सा absorb it, just try it out. Of course, not with real money in the markets. थोड़ा सा virtual trading में you can try.
Yeah. So here's the first thing. Whether it's a retail trader or a pro trader who comes to me at some point, the only condition, okay, in which any of this is taught is that you are going to actually run on virtual systems. I don't care whether someone will make fun of you. It has emotion, not emotion. Okay, it is logical. When you join an organization, you start as an intern. When you want to become a doctor, you start as a junior. When you want to become a trader, always build yourself as a trader on a virtual system. There is no shortcut. If you want to make, by the way, we are the same country where, if we get 7% in 365 days in an FD, we think it's a good investment.
Yeah.
And here, I don't know who has told people that you can make 30% in 6 hours. I don't know who has started this, but yaar, wo mile to batana, yaar, ye kaun hai? Like literally, like the cleanup job that we have to do to fix people is insane. So that's the thing, I've been, yes, we've been using tools like this. We've been doing a couple of things like this. And the focus is purely on this. So Indian markets are different tools, American markets, very different tools, because their price action, keep in mind, works actually surprisingly much better compared to the Indian market. So I thought, today I'll just take you through some of these things. And yeah, and there is one thing which I have made and I have, figured out. I will even share that with you at some point. Or if you want, you can just have a small preview, and then we can always build upon it in the next time whenever you want to do that.
Awesome. Done. Definitely do that.
Sure. So yeah, I hope you understood today why it is important not to use the index.
Yes.
Now you know where you've been taking stop losses.
Option that is just not there. We saw काफी सारे levels ऐसे जो कि directly नहीं derive हो सकते. You cannot see those levels on index.
You can't. See, index again, cash market. Yeah, can you make your food in petrol and diesel? No, LPG लगता है उसके में. Right? So always do it in a particular thing. In fact, next time, I think whenever we do this, I'll show you the thing that we've developed, which is bullish and bearish angles. Again, unfortunately, see the way we started it, me and one of a friend of mine, like we partnered about 3-4 years back. Sometimes he got busy, I got busy, there's that. But the way we did it, we were like, what? We want to make it free. But the problem is we did not have enough people to go and give it to, because we could never build it as an indicator. There was a technical issue. We couldn't do it as an indicator. So we had to go manually put it on charts for people. Come and test it for a month and give it to us. So it is like a nightmare to do that thing. But bullish bearish angles, once it comes onto your charts, I think there's a possibility we might be able to automate it on something like a trading view in the next 3-4 months. But on option charts, to even do that, you have to learn like 3-4 months. I don't know whether it's a good thing, bad thing. It gives you an idea as a retail participant. Are you in a bullish zone or are you in a bearish zone? Bearish zone, matlab, you better have a stop loss ready over there. So things like that. Yeah. So I hope this was, useful. And in case somebody wants to start their career, please, yes, do all studies, learn everything. You should know what RSI is, MACD, learn your Elliott. I personally don't know Elliott wave because every time I try to learn, yeah, for the same thing, 4 different people told me 4 different ways to go to the same thing. समझ ही नहीं आया आज तक. So I did not do. So my thing is, can I always get accurate pinpoint levels on derivatives? By the way, you've heard, no, that option में decay होता है.
Yeah.
Can you see decay on the chart that we shared?
In उसमें option charts में yes, index में of course no.
Option chart में भी आपको नहीं दिखेगा. It goes level to level.
हाँ मतलब eventually it will be a downtrend अगर वो see.
वो तो we got hit with some bad news, so we opened gap down. That's okay then. But even when we open gap down on the precise dot level, so you got option decay. See, option decay is a function of an OTM. Unfortunately, we go and apply it all across the place, and even with option decay on expiry days, we still go level to level. That is how you end up trading, and that is how you end up building a system. Yeah, I hope this was useful for you. It was fun for me to explain. Today we just started, I think, 1 or 2 tiny things. We can always, add more things, and we'll do an overview, I think, more than a detailed thing, because detailed thing, you have to make sure every person knows every single thing inside out. Then that is called education.
Right, absolutely. This is definitely, this was amazing sir. मतलब it was मतलब जितना educative था उतना ही amazing था कि, and I use this word amazing I think rather loosely, especially after this session I feel so, because I'm not always amazed by what we see, but this was actually amazing, where you get amazed, you get surprised, you get amazed by what you see. Yes, it is actually panning out this way. But of course, it also feels that this was definitely not enough. And like you said, we do need more sessions of this. So please, आपको जब भी time मिले, we'll plan more and do more of this.
Anytime. I'll leave it up to you. We'll figure it. We'll do this. Yeah. Matlab, no problem. I wish I knew this before taking like 500 SLs in the past and deciding कि भाई trader नहीं बनना है, we'll build something. So stop trading long back, because we were like very clear. We understood a flaw. We understood, and because by the time we understood like what are we doing with our time. रोज तो SL लेके आ जाते हैं मार्केट में. ये क्या है? Like how is that ever going to help anyone? घर वालों को भी नहीं बता सकते यार कि how embarrassing it is. Like let's build, so that way. I wish I knew this about 5-8 years back. And my suggestion is for anybody, please learn as much as you can. Not just this, anything and everything. Learn a lot. There is no upper limit to learning, but don't trade unless you have mastered something. वो मत करिए. So keeping that in mind, yeah, sure. We'll do another part, yeah, Vishu, whenever you're free and जब आपके पास office में time हो, we'll get on a call and do that.
Thank you so much again, sir.
Sure. All right. Thanks a ton, Vishu. Thanks a ton.